So I've been thinking. Over the years, I've found that society has taught us that certain relationships are good and others are bad, what to accept and not to accept in relationships. Furthermore, the idea that ignorance is bliss. And I was looking at people around me and society in general and our relationships, and I started seeing a pattern that when most people find out that their spouse is cheating, they'll see a message, an action, or something that clearly indicate that this guy, this girl is definitely cheating on me. And the first thing that they'll do is ask their friends, what do you think I should do? Or what do you rate the story was? Is he really cheating on me? Do you think he's really cheating? Or should I listen to what he has to say? And, trying to find solace in a voice to convince them that their partner is not cheating on them. Then they'll finally come to a conclusion that, I don't know, let me just first hear what he has to say about it. And then, I'll just hear what he has to say about it. And then I'll make a decision on where our relationship stands. I'll know if he's lying. Now, here's where the problem or solution starts. In the moment you say, I'm going to ask him or her what the story is, then make a conclusion on what to do about your relationship, what you're really saying is, I'm going to put the ball in their court on what's going to happen to my relationship. And lo and behold, of course, when you ask them, they're going to deny it and say, oh, baby, you read into it wrong, or how come you don't trust me? Switch it up. You all know how this goes. And then all these thoughts run into your head and maybe even feel guilty for not trusting them. Now imagine, instead of going to your partner first, you consulted with yourself first. Let's say you saw them doing whatever they did, something that clearly indicates you just know. You sit down, you ask yourself, is this what I'll accept? Is this my standard? Is this what I want? And you gotta understand, there's no right or wrong answer here. Whatever you decide, if you decide that I'm fully aware that he's cheating, and I'm okay with it because the value that I get out of this relationship is worth more than this one negative. Or you can decide, to hell with this. This is not my standard. This is not what I want for my life. And this is definitely not what I want for my relationship, I won't stand for it. If this is the negative that comes being this guy, then I don't want any part of it. I don't want to be with it. Whatever the decision, be very clear with yourself what it is. Take a moment to even say to yourself verbally, out loud, so your mind hears the decision and processes it and accepts it as your own. We all know that we always think so many things in our heads, and we have that other little voice that we can ignore when we're saying it in our minds. But then as soon as you have to say something out loud, you force yourself to tell yourself the truth, what you're really feeling. And I'd really encourage that you do that. It sounds absurd, but come on, go into your room and have a conversation with yourself. And then go to your partner or your friends and ask them whatever the hell you want to ask them. Be angry, whatever you want to be. But once you've done that, the next time that something happens, you don't feel like a victim. You don't feel like, why do bad things always happen to me? Why do I always get the bad ones? How could they do this to me? You understand and realize that it's a conscious decision you made to stay. This is the negative you chose to manage. And this is what makes relationships horrible or great. Don't put your future in someone else's hands so that at the end of the relationship, you can feel better because you can point to them for how they've wronged you and how they're responsible for your sadness. You need to take back your power. Grab it with both hands. Make a decision with yourself so that even at the end of the relationship, you can look back and probably still with a sad heart, but with the golden key of knowing consciously that whatever problems you had there, whatever the problems you had there, the person you need to consult with is always available. And that person is you. You can make a different decision next time, in your next relationship. Shift your mindset. This is not me saying that you're taking blame, but rather responsibility for your life, for your relationship. If you don't do this, you'll forever feel like whatever happened, time wasted, was someone else's doing. And what's most unfortunate about this is that you can't change people. People who live according to their values. And you certainly can't make people be who you imagine or wish for them to be. Or even apologize for how they've wronged you in the past. So, they'll only leave you bitter and angry. And you'll carry this anger and bitterness into your next relationship. And then the same pattern will be repeated because you have not acknowledged that it is in your hands. So remember, everything starts with a decision with yourself. Know what you want. Be clear with your mind on what you'll accept. Then move forth with confidence so that no matter what, if ever you want to change, you can without needing someone else's permission. It's time you made the decision to own your emotions and own your life. And remember, live fully, love entirely, and be yourself.